Hello everyone, I'm Daniel Campbell, Carbon County Road Supervisor. Today we'd like to talk about what we do as far as snow removal goes. Kind of bring the public up to speed on what we do and how we keep our roads safe for travel. We'll go through the truck and some calibration settings on how we make sure that we're not spending too much money on salt. Keep our taxes down and keep your road safe all at the same time. Okay, so here we are at the back of the truck where all of our sand comes out that you see as you're traveling down the road. This is the key part about putting the sand on the road. So what we've done is we've calibrated all our sanders for the salt that comes out onto the roadway. How we've done that is we've marked the shaft and we count the revolutions and how long it takes to make a revolution. With that, we put a pad down on the ground, and then we scale the amount that it put out in one revolution. Once we've done that, we can start our calculation on how many pounds per lane mile we're actually putting out. The ideal amount of salt is to put down 250 to 300 pounds per lane mile of salt. With doing this, that is good for 1 inch per hour for snow accumulation. The trouble that we have as a county is a lot of our roads are rural, so we don't have the heavy traffic that keeps our road temperatures up. Some of you may or may not know that as you travel down the road surface, your tires creating friction on the road surface. So that brings our temperatures up, which helps our salt melt and our snow melt quicker, leading better results, less salt consumption. On the roads that doesn't have much traffic, we don't have that option of keeping that temperature up, so it brings our salt costs up. So some of these rural roads we end up running 400 pounds per lane mile. But that's just the beast we're saddled with. With this, we do door settings, and if you'll look, we're running about 2 inches of salt is coming out of that. This allows us to run a faster chain speed with keeping a material flow that is consistent down the roadway. As our speeds increase, we have to increase our chain rates, or the amount of salt that's coming out of the back of the truck with the movement of the truck. The crucial point is the spinner on the back. We try to keep that material right in the travel surface of the roadway. This gives you guys the most safety we can get. Plus it saves us money from losing salt off of the road where it's not doing us any good. If you notice the flaps, they're turned down right here. This keeps your material falling directly on the road, and then you get the marbling that comes out and gives you a spread as the truck goes down the road. This flap being open further with a slower spinner speed, it keeps our material at about our drive tires, so we're not wiping it off with our next pass. Currently, right now, Carbon County Road Department maintains about 480 lane miles of road. So that's one pass in each direction. And we only currently have 4 guys available per crew to get through that many lane miles of road. If you notice, we've got, they call it a Polar Flex snowplow edge. So these are independent edges. They're 1-foot segments. And with this, these segments travel up and down, which gives us, as we all know in the county, our road surfaces aren't level, so we have some variation on our road. This actually gives us a feature to where this cutting edge will follow those divots and give us a cleaner road surface. But the best part about it is this edge is 2 years old. We have not replaced one segment in it. So we're driving costs down substantially. With our old edges, we was getting 1 to 2 storms is all we was able to do before we had to change the entire blade. And now if we do wear one side out, we've only got to replace one segment, which is only $90 versus $500 for the full entire edge. And $500 meaning that was the cheapest blades we could find. The other great feature is the safety aspect of it is we're not picking up a 400-pound cutting edge now and trying to get it bolted onto the blade or onto the snowplow and run the risk of cutting somebody's fingers off or dropping it on a toe or that. One man can change these out by himself in about 5 minutes time. So which this means to you guys is we get back out into the field quicker. We concentrate on snowplow routes. We've had our wonderful GIS department map out every route for every truck. So every driver, no matter what shift it is, he knows exactly what road he's going on. He's assigned a route, he knows the route very well, and he knows where his trouble spots are. Our number one priority is our children. So we concentrate on school bus routes very first and our main arterial roads. A lot of people have said, well, you haven't made it to my road. You're absolutely right. If you live down at the end of a cul-de-sac or on a road that's maybe only 1 or 2 houses, correct, you are the last ones to get hit because we concentrate on our arterial roads plus our school bus routes. So now you're going to get to see the view that our drivers see. As you can tell, our visibility is not very good. So it's kind of been said before, well, you guys can see better than we can. Absolutely not. We have more blind spots than the public does traveling up and down the roadway. As you can tell, it's a very large piece of equipment with a large amount of blind spots. We have snow coming up over our blades that reduces our visibility. Our mirrors get covered with snow. Even though we've got heated mirrors, it won't keep them completely clean. So if you could give us the courtesy of maybe giving us a little bit wider of an area or getting your cars off of the roads, it makes our jobs a lot easier. And also, if we could not push our snow out of our driveways onto our road surfaces, would really help us out. Because we'll clean a road up and then you push your driveways out and this then freezes down and becomes a bump. At this point, if somebody gets injured on it, it is now your responsibility. You're now liable for your pile of snow you've left in the road, not us. Also, if we come back and it's froze down and we have vehicle damage to our snow plows, you are now responsible for that. So be very aware of that. These are our spreader controls. If you see, we have to take our eyes off of the road to adjust our spreaders and our spinner rates. In night conditions, it even becomes more challenging. So our drivers are professional and very good at what they do. They work a lot of long hours. We just had a crew out. They were out for 24 hours straight. They was away from their families trying to keep our roadways safe. I can't tell them enough thanks. And maybe the next time you see one of our drivers, instead of cussing at them or throwing a snow shovel or being mad that you got snow in your driveway, give them a nice, kind, courteous wave for me, please. As they're just trying to keep your kids safe and you as well safe. So this is our salt facility. This is where we store all of our salt mixture. So this is straight salt on this side. On the opposite side is a salt sand mix that we use for our mountain roads to help get us a little bit more grit. We can hold a little over 2,000 ton of material in this facility, which keeps it really nice for us because it keeps big chunks of frozen stuff from entering our sanders and tearing them up. So we're really grateful to have this facility back in the time when I started for the county 18 years ago, we didn't have anything as nice as this. It had to all be stored outside, and we'd break chains on our sanders, which is really bad for the public because now we are down in the shop, plus it's very costly. Downtime is really bad for us. It's bad for the public, it's bad for everybody all the way around. Okay, this is our loading facility. This is where all of our salt gets loaded onto our vehicles, or our sanders at. They roughly have to, depending on the storm, but as a rule, we have to load one time per storm per route. And that is if we just do one pass down each lane one time. And that's at 300 pounds per lane mile. This salt that you're looking at comes from Redmond, Utah. We buy all of our salt from there. They call it the ice slicer. It actually has a melting temperature down into 16 degrees. So we can currently melt snow off the road or ice down as low as 13 degrees with 300 pounds per lane mile. Once we drop into lower temperatures, when we start getting down around 5 and 10 degrees, our salt consumption goes up substantially. We're up around 600 to 700 pounds per lane mile at that point. So if you notice, we're staying back at least 100 feet away from that truck. This is to ensure that your vehicle is not taking any rocks hitting the window, which is salt. Salt will not break your window, but it will chip your paint. We get several complaints over people saying that they've been hit with salt. If that's the case, you're following too close. So please stay back. Plus, this gives the driver more visibility and he's able to see you. Makes it safer for you. You're not getting any of the blow around snow that's coming back on you. And plus, if he has to make an emergency stop, it gives you the stopping distance. You can tell where our salt's coming down onto the road. This is exactly where we want our salt, is right where the vehicles run. That way we're not wiping it off at the next pass. A lot of people claim, well, why do you put salt down when it's still continuing to snow? The reason we do this is because asphalt is porous, and those salt molecules will actually end up down inside of the asphalt and continue to work. Even though the snow's covering it up, as long as you're seeing the tracking of the vehicles, you can tell that your salt's still continuing to work. You also get saturation levels. That salt, we put out 300 pounds per lane mile. This is good for 1 inch per hour, as I said in the last video. If it continues to snow and we get accumulations on the ground, our salt's still working underneath. The salt isn't being saturated to the point that it stops working. So even though you're seeing the salt or the snow accumulations on the ground, it's still fine. That salt's working underneath and you won't have slick conditions. Also, things that affect the road is trees. Trees shadow the road surface, so it doesn't allow the sunlight to come through and warm up the road. So you can see this section of road is covered by trees and it's snow packed and quite slick because it's shadowing. There's numerous factors that change the temperature of a road. Anything that absorbs a UV ray that keeps it off of the travel surface will change the temperature of your road substantially, 10-15 degrees easily. And this makes it to where our salt doesn't work near as efficiently. So we have to come up on our salt content onto the road surface, which drives our costs up. Currently right now in Carbon County, with the amount of snow we have been receiving, we are averaging about $10,000 per event to keep our roadways clear. And by I mean per event, meaning per pass. There's quite a few people that call in to dispatch and say it's snowing and our roads are slick. We understand it's slick throughout the whole county. It's snowing throughout the whole county. To continually call in and tell us that your roads are not been plowed, it's not that they haven't been overlooked, it's just we have not been able to get to them. We've been concentrating on our school bus routes and our main arterial roads. The roads into the subdivision that get you to your house, the main road, we do that road. The side roads that go off of that, we don't do until after the storm's done. And the reason being is we can't be everywhere at one time. Like I've said before in the previous video with the plow, we've got 460 lane miles, 480 lane miles of road. We can't be everywhere at one time. So it does take us some time to get through there. Yes, we will get to your road. It just takes us a little while to do it. And usually when we come into the subdivisions and stuff, it will be after the event is over with. That's when we can go in, do an efficient job, and keep our costs as low as we possibly can. That $10,000, that is only one time throughout the county, a pass in each direction. That is that cost. So we've got storms that were upwards of $25,000, $30,000 just to keep the roadways open. So after the storm's over with, we've done one pass in each direction. It takes us 5 hours to get through the county. That is not including all of the subdivisions and little dead end roads that we have to deal with. Our time frame with that is 8 to 12 hours is what it takes us to get into those areas, depending on the amount of snowfall we've received. Upon doing all of the roads in the county, we also have all of the snow removal at the Carbon County Airport. Just to remove the snow on that airport, it takes us 6 hours with 2 loaders running 20-foot plow boxes and 4 10-wheeler snow plows. So it is a large area, big facility, a lot of asphalt surface, and we also have to maintain that. So we've got a lot on our plate every time it snows. We are at our dispatch center, so our county road facility. Right here what you're looking at is the map. This is our route map for all of our snow plows. Each color designates a snowplow route. So each driver is assigned to that route. He comes out every time that it snows. This is the route he goes on. The same truck stays on that route unless it breaks down. With the numbers that you see down at the bottom, you'll see Route 1, 77.06 lane miles. That's each way. So, or for total, so that's one way each lane. So this resulting in 23.12 ton is what it takes to do that entire route of salt at 300 pounds per lane mile. Now let me remind you, that's 1 inch per hour is what that's rated at. Route 2, 71.44 miles, 21 ton. Route 3, 72.36 miles, 21.71 ton. Route 4, 74 miles, 22.323 ton. Route 5, 23.82 miles, 7.15 ton. This is not including 9 Mile or the Emma Park Road, Spring Canyon, or Whitmore Canyon Road. These roads we also take care of. 9 Mile alone is 74.94 miles with no radio communication. Which is kind of scary for us, sending drivers down there not knowing whether they're okay or not, and no cell phone coverage. This map and the all the totals that you see is thanks to our wonderful GIS department, Melissa Laszlo, Ben Clement. You guys do a phenomenal job. You make us way more efficient and able to do our jobs a lot faster because of what you guys can do. So I would like to give a shout out for that. So in here, just to give you all an idea of what our storms have done. So UDOT has a way good command center up north. They are able to predict their storms, pretty much hit the temperature right on the money, so they know exactly how much salt to put out for each storm and be really efficient. Unfortunately, here in Carbon County, Doppler doesn't cover us very well. So it's eyes on the ground, and that's how we pretty much see our storms coming in. We are really thankful for the law enforcement. They tell us when the road conditions are bad. They call into dispatch. Then we are dispatched out from there. So then I come out and call my crews out. Day or night, we are out. The minute our law enforcement calls and says that the road conditions are bad, we will be here. Just because you don't see us, we are out. To give you a total on our storms, December 16th cost us $11,334 to remove the snow. December 22nd was $19,943. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, $13,747. The 28th of December, little small squall that rolled through, not hardly any accumulation, but still cost us $1,600. We've tracked every storm throughout this year, so we could show how much it actually costs us to remove the snow. We want to be as transparent as we possibly can. We've been accused of not doing our job. We do it. We do it as efficiently as we can, and my guys are very courteous. If it wasn't for them, I couldn't do my job. So I would like to give a shout out to them and tell them thank you. They answer the phone every time I call them, and I couldn't get a better crew.